into an actual isolation center. That is the ideal situation. But when the PCR testing is something that's going to take a long time, or the facility doesn't have a holding room, we have the situation that you are mentioning, that you mentioned about Irwa, which, as it turned out there, was positive. That is not what it should be. And we shall again emphasize that all arrangements be made for those who are testing to be able to be in the holding area until confirmation. We shall be able to solve a part of that problem when we get the support for activating our GeneXpert machines. We have applied to Global Fund to support us with cartridges that will allow us to do testing with our GeneXpert machines. Those ones are faster. The results come out in about 45 minutes to 1 hour. So a person can actually be on site and wait for the results to come out for necessary action to be taken. The question about security around isolation centers, yes, that is also an issue which we are looking at. In fact, we have had to speak with security forces about that. And I can say quite happily and proudly that the Nigerian Army has agreed to support the isolation centers with security as the need arises. So we shall be applying for their support in situations where we need security for all our patients and also those who are awaiting result of who have been tested. It is true that there are people who, for reasons of not believing their status, there are people who test positive and they don't really have symptoms, so they don't easily comply. Some understand that we comply, others are itching to follow their own mind and say they don't have any problem, they want to leave. So we do need to be able to actually protect the public from persons who are in that category. Now, as for the Chinese persons who came in, the tests have been done after their 14-day quarantine. All of them were negative. And after that, the Federal Ministry of Health is done with that particular case. Now, as for the patient with the varying names mentioned here, this is a case that's been discussed here before. It's a lady who came in from abroad and had to be transferred because she didn't like the conditions under which she was being held in her state of Benue. At that time, she had tested positive, and I myself actually got involved in that. I spoke with the deputy governor, I spoke with the commissioner, and I also spoke with the patient. And it is on that account that she was transferred to Abuja, and she did not cooperate with second testing because she insisted on seeing her result, and by the time it was provided, she found faults in it, either in the spelling of the name or in the order in which the name came in. But eventually another test was done, which, as you know, has to be done 2 times. You must be negative 2 times before you are asked to go. And I understand that she has not cooperated since. I intend to also look into that as soon as I leave here. Now, the cases of the 40 health workers, yes, we have always warned that health workers must use their personal protective equipment. Secondly, if you are not trained in infection prevention and control, this COVID-19 is not for you as a health worker. It is very risky to underrate the infectiousness of this virus. It is not like any other sickness. It is not a malaria. It's not like any other kind of viral infection that you know. That is the reason why we have said that only accredited hospitals should be handling, and isolation centers should be handling this infection. And private entities who want to participate can apply for accreditation and will be trained and certified. Every other person who is doing treatment either privately or secretly is doing so at their own risk, but it's also at the risk to the public, because they put their families at risk. They will go home to their families, they'll go to their friends, and it is not something which should be indulged in. I here use this opportunity to again ask all the people, once you recognize that it's an infection of nature, do not hold on to it, refer to a proper area. Now, as for the cases of increasing lockdown, yes, once you relax a lockdown, the experience shows in various countries that if you relax a lockdown or remove it, the cases go up, because people do not begin to feel free and begin to do those things which you told them not to do. Which is why in my statement, I appealed very strongly to all citizens to maintain the advisory, even more now than before, because the more the restrictions are removed, the more the compliance should actually be, so that we don't begin to suffer a reversal of the gains that we have made so far. We have made some gains, and if anybody liberty is taken for license, then we are really at risk that the figures begin to bounce even higher than we want. So it can happen if there is no compliance. And I want to also appeal to community leaders and community gatekeepers, religious leaders, traditional leaders, and even political leaders to please ensure that there is compliance with all the advisory that has been given. The committee of experts will be sworn in later. Is headed by Professor Tomori, a very well-known virologist. The other members will be revealed at the swearing in. Thank you.